Hello, I'm Joachim Duplessis. Welcome to the HTS Epoll. It's your opportunity to weigh in on the most pressing issues of the day. Remembrance Day, anchored to the 1918 armistice, fundamentally grounds St. Lucia to the sacrifices of its service members, beginning with the 36 fallen from the First World War. The recent 2025 observance upheld this tradition with solemn military parades and ceremonies at sites like the cenotaph, ensuring the state ritual validates the national debt owed to both historical and active veterans. However, the widening multi-generational gap since the World Wars tests the day's emotional resonance for younger citizens unfamiliar with the realities of kinetic conflict. The true challenge lies in whether the symbolic red poppy resonates beyond the institutional formality into a sustained public commitment. If the observance remains primarily a state-led function, the tribute risks receding into a necessary but ultimately fading historical artifact. So we asked, do you believe that the deep meaning and reverence for Remembrance Day still remain a strong and relevant part of St. Lucia's present-day national consciousness? We took to the streets to get your opinion, and here's what you had to say.
I don't think that they really care about Remembrance Day. Well, I think that they think it's something that's in the past. And I think that we need to show more care for those persons, because they are the ones who help shape our future today. So I think there need to be a little bit more consideration for those persons who have actually gone out there and made St. Lucia who it is today.
Certainly not as we should. We need to really make an effort to continue to recognize those who served in the various world wars. That was a huge sacrifice that fellow St. Lucians undertook to preserve peace. And as we know, especially in today's world, peace and safe communities are treasured. And we need to make sure that we recognize those people who served in those world wars. So it's really a dying art in terms of really remembering our persons who fought for our freedoms. So certainly we need to make sure we do better in the future to recognize those who helped preserve those freedoms.
A lot of the traditions we had back in the day have been phased out of our society. The older folks may have remembered, but the younger generation have no idea. We used to have Puppy Day at school. We used to pay the 25 cents for the puppy, and we knew that we had fallen soldiers from St. Lucia in the World War. Do we know that today? Do we have remembrance memorial places that the kids can see who fought and who did not fight? These are traditions we should bring back, but it's not as heavy as it used to be. I wish it was.
Yeah, we St. Lucians supposed to be care about Remembrance Day. Definitely yes. Because we have to remember our great-grandparents, whatnot, was there and now they are not there and we are there and we have to remember that.
I think they should, because the older folks that risk their lives, we the younger folks should appreciate and honor them. There is one still left alive, and the others that gone still could be honored, which is about 400 and odd, but there is still one alive. He will feel very proud of us if we do something about it.
I don't think we really care about Remembrance Day. And the reason for that is that Remembrance Day is not about us. Those persons who went and fight didn't went to serve us as St. Lucians. They never served us. They were serving the Europeans. They were serving the French, the British, but not us. You understand? So we cannot appreciate that. We can appreciate the life that they are still living. But actually the Europeans took advantage of our people in St. Lucia. And if we want to remember them in that way, it is okay for us to remember them in that way. But to remember them as people who went and fight for us and serve us, no, they did not serve us. However, I'm saying that in spite of that, we can still give them recognition because they are our people, but not as because they serve us.
Tell you the truth, the older people, yes, they care about it, but there are some of the young ones, they don't really care about it, they don't really get involved unless it's benefiting towards them. But I think we should pay more attention to the Remembrance Day of the people, the fallen soldiers, because the French, they come down, they show respect, they show our memories about them, and a lot of us down here, like I said, the young people, we don't interfere with it, but we need to show more respect. It's they're the one that paved the way for us to be here. So we need to be more agile and be more like the older people and pay the respect.
Currently, I don't think that enough attention is being given to Remembrance Day. I think because of the passage of time, we have forgotten the sacrifices that these individuals have done. Most of them, if not all, are deceased right now. And I think as a result of that, we have as a people, we have actually forgotten the sacrifice that these people have made in order to get us where we are today. And though I believe that presently I don't think we really care much, but I think a greater effort should be done to keep that memory going and let people appreciate the sacrifices that these people who came before us have done to put us where we are today.
I am aware that we have one living veteran on the island, and I believe that this should be, pride and joy for us to be able to celebrate at least this veteran who is still living. But it's not being recognized properly, and maybe the government need to begin to get a little more involved in terms of the awareness, because there also may be an issue of awareness. Because the young generation, with cell phones and gadgets, they can at least send out a text blast or something, send out something, put out something on Instagram, on Facebook, and add, letting people know that, hey, this day is coming, etc. But is it being recognized properly? No.
The very first place we already started that is in the schools, and I doubt any other children in the schools even know what day it is. But from my knowledge, I think it has to do with First and Second World War. I don't know if I'm right. I think only we have probably about 1 or 2 persons living. They should be in the ages of about 100 plus years now. But I don't believe that the government, the teachers are doing enough about Remembrance Day. Remember, these guys went and sacrificed their lives for our freedom, basically.
Remembrance Day, it's a good thing. We should remember. But we are P for brain. We forget fast. Let's love each other. We have to honor the ones that came before us. But patriotism is something that you cannot instill that in people. It's either you care or you don't. We have to really support the good stuff.
Now to our new discussion. The history of elective politics in St. Lucia reveals a slow yet undeniable trend towards inclusivity. Women secured the right to vote and stand for election back in 1951, a right reaffirmed at independence in 1979. Despite this legal foundation and the remarkable educational and professional achievements of St. Lucian women today, who are often the backbone of the civil service and local economy, their presence in the House of Assembly remains perpetually modest. The 2021 general election, for instance, saw only a handful of women candidates, with just 2 ultimately winning seats out of 17, a figure that highlights the persistent gender parity deficit at the representative level. The argument for a female prime minister is compelling. She would likely champion a more inclusive legislative agenda, yet the reality of entrenched patriarchal systems and political resistance acts as a powerful brake. Given that the path to the nation's highest office remains largely untested by a woman, the question is not merely about political timing but cultural evolution. So we ask, do you believe you will live to see a woman sworn in as Prime Minister of St. Lucia? Remember, our Epoll team is always on the go to get your responses as well. Watch the HTS News Force from 7 p.m. for the results and a new discussion.